Oh, yeah.
Welcome to the Rant, where if you got something to say, you better post it here today. Alrighty, why is this so important? This topic is about Tom Brady. That's right, his career is actually overrated. Why? Because of revisionist history. That's right, revisionist history. What do I mean by that in the world of sports? It's when you love a player, when you love a team or a coach so much that when you look back at their career and their accomplishments, you see it through the lens of, oh, they're the greatest. They can do no wrong. They're so great. Instead of looking at the context and having an objective eye. Lucky you, I have one of those with me today. Alrighty, so let's break this down through 3 examples. First, let's look at Tom Brady and how he just simply did his job. Second, we have to look at how his first 6 years speaks volumes to his career trajectory. And finally, we're going to look at how Bill Belichick really deserves a lot of this credit over his great career. First, we need to look at how he did his job. Tom Brady came in as a backup for Drew Bledsoe after a severe injury. Tom stepped up and did what was asked of him. He didn't do anything great. When we look at the AFC Championship, right? When he comes in that year against the Oakland Raiders, we know the Tuck rule. That game, it should have been over. It should have been over. I'm a Chiefs fan, and I'm admitting this loud in public, right? The Oakland Raiders got him. See, the call was that Tom Brady actually moved his arm forward. That's not true. He was going for a pump fake because we know his arm motion at that time. He threw enough footballs for us to understand that. He was actually pumping forward. He was probably going to go for a deeper pass or maybe change the path to get a little bit more time. When we look at that play, when we look at, oh yeah, he brought the Patriots into field goal position, that's not a game-winning drive in my opinion. I actually don't count that for Mahomes or any other quarterback. To me, it's just tough. A game-winning drive. Like, you have to go against an elite defense for me to consider that one of the greatest of all time, maybe, for me to consider field goal range as winning the game for your team. I think it should give credit to the kicker, but they don't get paid the big bucks, so, well, why am I complaining? Then we look at the Super Bowl. When he's playing against the greatest show on turf, he wasn't asked to do anything. All he had to do was score more than 17 points. And he was able to provide that. I'm pretty sure they won 20-17. Again, put the team in the field goal range. That's nice. In a dome. That's nice. That's good. But he did his job. So I think early on, we think of him as just this big hero stepping in. Kind of like Ben Roethlisberger for the Steelers. When you look at statistically and look at what he was actually doing, there was a lot of things around them, like a good running game, a good defense, right? That was actually propelling these young quarterbacks to success. So he did his job really well, but that's not GOAT status. Next, let's look at those first 6 years of him starting. How many Pro Bowls did he get? 3. Very interesting, right? So he wasn't even considered by fans, by players around the time as a top 3 quarterback in his conference for 3 of those years. That's telling. Actually, if you look at his numbers back then, he didn't have better than a 2 touchdown to 1 interception ratio. Not very strong, right? That means pretty much, yeah, he'll throw you 2 touchdowns a game, but he's going to turn the ball over as well. And that's just interceptions. We're not even going over fumbles and not getting 4th down conversions, things of that nature. So Tom Brady early on was good. Don't get me wrong, good. But the GOAT status, we didn't really see him break out until he had a legendary Hall of Fame wide receiver Randy Moss in 2007, coupled with Wes Welker, coupled with the good running game. Obviously, the defense was nasty. That was a special year. That's when Tom Brady really showed up, and he had a 50 touchdown season. It was incredible. There's only 2 other quarterbacks that have 50 touchdowns in an NFL season. Peyton Manning and my boy Mahomes. Okay, so he is in great company with that. So when I look at that perspective, you have to understand Tom was good. We're not saying that someone's either the GOAT or they're the worst of all time, the greatest of all time or the worst of all time. That's not how the spectrum works. That's binary thinking. What if he's closer to the middle? What if he's closer a little bit to the greatest, but he's not quite there? That's what I have to look at, and that's what I factor. My biggest point after this is really looking at how Bill Belichick is masterful. How this man was able to not only call defensive plays, but also partner on the offensive line and do all of these things where he can get interchangeable with running backs, interchangeable with wide receivers, and create such a system for Tom that he can thrive even when they don't have the best talent. So I look at Bill Belichick. One thing that people don't know about Bill Belichick is he will do this. He will shape his defense for whatever your team has on offense. That is scary, and that takes a lot of prep and a lot of dedication that I don't think a lot of people recognize. When you're willing to say, you know what, yeah, I know I have a base defense here, and I know I'm really good here. I broke a lot of maybe NFL records, or I'm really good this season. But I want to see what you do well. I don't want to take that away. That takes a special coach. And we honestly don't see that a lot. At least a lot when it comes to success. For example, I'm a Chiefs fan. When I see the Chiefs play the Patriots, I respect the Patriots so much. Why? They handle Travis Kelce the best, probably than anyone else in the league. And it's incredible. I love it. So if Travis Kelce might be close to the line, he's down in the 3-point stands, about to get up, run as a tight end. They'll have a defensive end, pow, pop him in the mouth, right? Just pow, pop him out, just hit him and check him at the line. Then they'll have a linebacker come down, boom, hit him in the face, woo, woo, hit him in the chest, boom. And then they'll have a safety over the top of him or a DB that can get physical, right? I love how they cover Travis Kelce. Obviously, it's not fun when we're losing, but I respect it as a football fan. I'm like, man, this is awesome because I'm seeing really good coaching and people aren't saying, oh my gosh, Travis Kelce, he's just so talented. What are we going to do? That's what this generation has, and it frustrates me so much. We complain about it rather than stepping up and popping somebody in the mouth saying how we're going to be competitive and how we're going to fight back. So I love Bill Belichick for that, Patriots for that. They don't complain. They don't cry. They just do what they need to do to get the results. Bill Belichick is the reason of that. When we also look at the defensive performances that the Patriots were able to have, remember the last 18 years, how many Super Bowls did the Patriots win? What is it, 6? They went to 9. So the last 18 years, they've been in half of the Super Bowls. That is ridiculous. But let's look at how the Patriots defense really fared. When you calculate the average of all of the Super Bowl winners not named the New England Patriots, guess how many points are averaged in the Super Bowl? 30 points. Out of the 6 Super Bowl wins that the Patriots have, how many times did the Patriots give up more than 30 points? They won 6. One time. The Philadelphia Eagles fly, Eagles fly. That is something impressive to note. I gotta look at that. If people are averaging 30 and you only allow somebody to get over 30 once, oh my gosh. And you won 6 of those. And then let's look at the other ones. He haven't won, but he didn't allow more than 30 points in those games. So that is ridiculous. Let's look at last year. Was it boring? Yes, it was a boring Super Bowl. But you held the second-ranked offense in the league to 3 points? Let's go to the greatest show on turf, right? The St. Louis Rams of old. They came into 2001 on fire. Right? They had a Super Bowl together. They had chemistry together. Dick Vermeil kind of built that up, and he was an offensive genius too. And one thing that I noticed is they held them in the dome to 17 points. This is ridiculous. The Giants, they held them to 17 points. The Giants, the second time they lost, held them to what? 21 points. I'm telling you, the Patriots are known for having a solid defense and solid defensive performances on the highest stage. When you have that kind of help, that means you can go into these games without pressure. When you have a coach that can prep that well, that means it limits the pressure. That means for me, when I look at him and think of a cold-blooded killer, Tom Brady is just so poised. I would be poised too if you have the GOAT coaching you. If you have the greatest of all time coaching you, I would feel a little bit relaxed too, right? So that takes away from that killer instinct. That takes away from that ability to just step on someone's throat in a figurative way, right? We're not promoting physical, literal violence. But in the game of football, I'm not going to be nearly as impressive because I know the person you're receiving help from. That's why I look at Aaron Rodgers and say, if Aaron Rodgers had a Bill Belichick, goodness, they could have won more. They could have won more Super Bowls, in my opinion. They really have. They don't lose to Aaron Rodgers wouldn't lose to Nick Foles in a shootout. I don't believe that. I don't believe that Aaron Rodgers would have lost to Eli Manning twice. I don't believe that. So you got to look at it from that perspective. Bill Belichick is a blessing to Tom Brady. Now, again, does this make him, just because he's not the greatest possibly of all time, does that make him the worst? No. But it means even if he is the greatest of all time, I believe his career is still overhyped, and we do this all the time. Last year, it was hilarious. The Patriots end up scoring on the Chiefs, put 37 up on the Chiefs in the AFC Championship. Oh, I hear Skip Bayless. Oh my gosh, that was so impressive. That was so beautiful. Who does that? The Chiefs were known as one of the worst defenses, not only last year, one of the worst defenses to ever make the playoffs in NFL history. NFL history. Look at the numbers. Go back and look at you can look at the tape, the eye test, remember? Not just the numbers. We're not just computers. It was ridiculous ridiculous. It was ridiculous. So that's a slap in Tom Brady's face if you know the level of competition is minuscule. So to say he's so great because he tore this defense up, that defense was torn up by quarterbacks not even close to Tom Brady's league. So let's keep that in perspective. All right, make sure you guys subscribe. Hit that button at the top. Hit that bell notification so you know the next time I post a video for you. Like this, love this page, share it with people. And remember, if I'm the only one ranting, this isn't going to work. This is a team effort, so make sure you do that via typing or post a video link of you showing me the volume, the facial expressions, the passion behind this point. And it's okay if you're wrong. I will correct you.